Akane Nishino is a famous actress, good student and friendly with her classmates. However, this is a fake persona she created after an incident when a fan kidnapped and molested her. Inside she is angry, bitter and despises everyone, in particular, classmate Minoru Kagenou, who barely acknowledges her existence. Kagenou is shown to carry weights in his bag and clothing to increase his strength. Nishino is kidnapped by criminals who intend to ransom her. They are interrupted by Kagenou, disguised as a masked vigilante, calling himself
stylish Bokan Slayer.
But when they see Slayer uses dual crowbars, they realize he is actually a dangerous brawler who can defeat gangs by himself, known as Balaclava Berserker. Slayer defeats both man and frees Nishino. Nishino suspects Kagenou, but a few days later, Kagenou is abruptly hit by a truck and dies. Through flashback, Kagenou explains his entire life. He wanted to become a secret mastermind controlling society from the shadows to protect the innocent, to be like the fictional heroes he's looked up to his entire life, and relentlessly trained in martial arts, hoping to one day be as powerful as a nuclear bomb. In death, Kagenou laments at how no matter how hard he trained or how much he tried, in the end he could never realistically achieve that level of power, as the laws of physics made him just an ordinary human no matter what he did. Now in the present, Kagenou reincarnates in an alternate world with magical powers where he still hopes to achieve his dream of controlling society as the Eminence in shadow. Kagenou is reborn in an alternate world as Sid Kagenou, son of minor nobles Baron and Lady Kagenou and older sister Claire. In keeping with his previous life, Sid trains in secret and resumes his vigilante lifestyle by killing bandits. Sid discovers a living blob of rotting flesh and succeeds in curing the curse afflicting it, returning it to its true form, an elven girl. To amuse himself, Sid, in character as Eminence in shadow, convinces the girl she is a descendant of ancient heroes who defeated a demon called Diablos, but a cult is seeking to resurrect Diablos. Believing his lies, the girl agrees to form a group called Shadow Garden to resist the cult. Sid gives her the name Alpha, but secretly is amused Alpha believed his made-up story. 3 years later, Claire is abruptly kidnapped. Alpha, who has now recruited 6 girls as the Shadow 7, locates Claire and confirms she was kidnapped by the cult of Diablos. Sid is convinced the girls are merely role-playing with him, completely unaware the cult actually exists, and intends Claire to be Diablo's host body when he resurrects. Sid leads the attack under the impression he is hunting normal bandits, and most cultists are killed. Claire escapes during the chaos and, with no idea Sid was involved, later leaves to attend Midgar Academy as planned. Sid, still completely ignorant of what really happened, is surprised when Alpha and the other shadows abruptly announce they are leaving. The Shadow 7 separate to hunt the cult all over the world. Sid believes they simply grew up and grew bored of his game. He enrolls in the same academy as Claire, where he deliberately avoids standing out, even choosing 2 average boys, Skel and Pa, as friends. As a forfeit for doing badly on a test, Sid is forced to confess love to Princess Alexia and be publicly humiliated. Sid plays along in his role as a typical background character, but is shocked when Alexia agrees to be his girlfriend. Alexia invites Sid to her fencing class, where he discovers Alexia is engaged to royal fencing instructor Zenon, but has no desire to marry him. Fully aware he is being used and Alexia is secretly spiteful and selfish, Sid agrees to continue their fake relationship in exchange for money. After 2 weeks, Alexia admits that despite the effort she puts into sword training, she is not as skilled as her sister, Iris. Thus she was nicknamed Fencer Ordinaire. Sid admits he actually likes her sword style, which focuses on mastery of the basics. Alexia becomes angry and ends their fake relationship. The next day, Zenon reveals Alexia has disappeared and has Sid arrested as a suspect in her kidnapping. In a cell next to a mutated human girl, Alexia has her blood stolen by a cult scientist who claims it contains demon DNA. Sid is tortured by knights for Alexia's location, but having trained himself to withstand pain, he pretends to be a pathetic but innocent NPC, thinking it makes him look cool. After 5 days, Princess Iris orders Sid released. Alpha reappears to Sid with news that they have continued to monitor the cult while increasing Shadow Garden's influence. Sid is impressed Alpha and her fellow shadows still occasionally visit to carry on their role-playing game with him, unaware Shadow Garden really has become a powerful organization. Alpha plans to rescue Alexia with 114 loyal soldiers. Sid plays along to amuse himself as he knows Alexia really has been kidnapped, but mistakenly believes it was corrupt knights, and the 114 soldiers are just background actors Alpha hired. In a massive attack, Sid murders the knights who tortured him while his army searches for Alexia. The scientist desperately injects Alexia's blood into the mutant girl who becomes a demon, kills the scientist, then frees Alexia. Alexia runs into Xenon, who reveals he gave her to the cult so they would arrange for him to be promoted to a high-ranking knight. Alexia attacks, but Xenon easily defeats her. Sid suddenly appears. Xenon identifies Sid as the one behind recent attacks on the cult and announces himself as one of the cult's core members. The demon girl rampages through the city and fights Iris. Alpha reveals herself to Iris as a member of Shadow Garden. Defeats the demon, then vanishes. Sid dominates Xenon in a duel. Alexia, who has no idea he is Sid under his disguise, is captivated by his sword style, which expresses the heart of the style she has searched for her entire life. Xenon swallows pills that turn him demonic, but, using the principles of a nuclear explosion, Sid sets off a magic bomb that dissolves everything in the blast radius to atoms, killing Xenon and destroying most of the evacuated city. Alexia reunites with Iris, freshly determined to master her chosen sword style. Alexia, having remembered that Sid likes her sword style, offers to be his real girlfriend now Xenon is dead, but when he abruptly rejects her she punishes him violently. Alpha returns to investigating a group that has been masquerading as Shadow Garden while committing crimes. Iris orders a full kingdom investigation into the cult of Diablos and Shadow Garden. Sid meets a girl with pink hair. For more videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe.